Hey guys, my name is Armani Fry, and this is a video on what makes a great city to me. Before we can begin explaining what makes a great city, we must first define what a city is. A city is a place where people live that is larger or more important than a town. There are key characteristics to a great city. Those include high density of people, employment, entertainment, security, and housing. Wellington, New Zealand is a city I think has great qualities. The economy of the city itself is very dependent on tourism. However, one of the things I really admire about the city is its grid-like form and spectacular view. Before planners begin to design buildings in Wellington, they make sure to include public spaces everywhere. In these spaces, people have dance competitions, concerts, or huge farmers markets. Some of the places construction is not seen is on beautiful beaches and landscape. Fun fact, the Lord of the Rings trilogy was actually filmed in Wellington. Here is where the Hobbits stayed. The way the city is designed, I feel, is pretty smart. Everything is grouped in sections: Lambton, Willis, Cuba, and Courtney. In these sections, there is a sort of grid system, as mentioned before, yet most things are still shaped by the geography of the land and ocean. How cool! Dallas and Fort Worth, Texas are two cities I admire, and not just because I am from DFW. There are tons of attractions and entertainment, and the way the city is designed makes sense to me. Some of the attractions in DFW I love are the Fort Worth Zoo, Medieval Times, Dallas Aquarium, Six Flags Over Texas, Dallas Cowboys AT&T Stadium, and so much more. Interestingly enough, the way these two cities were developed were not planned to be as big as they are now. With Wellington, the planners of the city made everything to shape the landscape and still create a grid. In DFW, that is not the case. Major highways go every which way. I think the reason for this was because the suburbs took up more land than highways did. This resulted in suburbs and counties becoming bigger, forming their own special city. Of course, in the end, I cannot say Cowboys without having to rep my New Orleans Saints, but overall, DFW is a great place. Housing is affordable, education is cheap, there's transportation services everywhere, and for the most part, a very safe city. In conclusion, freedom and responsibility are two things that go hand in hand when dealing with big cities such as DFW. If you have too many regulations, a city can lose its uniqueness. However, on the other end of the spectrum, if you have too much freedom, it can cause chaos. Both New Zealand and DFW are two totally different cities, yet are still planned in a great way. I think overall, regulations and zoning are required in some aspects to have a great city.